Okay, hi everybody, I'm Luana and I'm coming from Brazil together with Sérgio. We work at the Humpback Whale Institute in Praia do Forte, Bahia. That's at the northeastern coast of Brazil, so I'm going to present a little bit how's whale watching happening at that part of the world. Okay, so responsible whale watching Bahia, Brazil involves collaboration, education, research and monitoring. Just so you know us a little bit better, this is our mission: to conserve humpback whales and other cetaceans of Brazil, contributing to harmonize human activities with the preservation of the natural patrimony. We've existed since 1988 as a project, and since 1996 as the Institute, which is a not-for-profit organization. And these are our four main lines of work: research, environmental education, responsible tourism, and public policies at national and international level. Okay, this is Abrolhos Bank. It's at southern Bahia state, and it's been declared the most important breeding ground for humpback whales in the southwestern Atlantic Ocean. Praia do Forte is on the northern coast of the state, and with the population recovery of humpback whales, we've been witnessing the reoccupation of former breeding grounds, and Praia do Forte seems to be a very prized area for the humpback whales. Okay, so whale watching started in the 90s in Caravelas, which is the coastal town for the Abrolhos archipelago. And it started as an opportunistic activity. People going to scuba dive in the archipelago would watch whales in the way there and back. Okay, it's a breeding ground, obviously. But in 2001, the Humpback Whale Institute opened a second station in Praia do Forte. So we've actually started approaching local people, potential operators, and suggesting that whale watching would be a good activity. So this is really nice because it means we've been able to work very closely with these operators right from the start of the activity. So in Praia do Forte, whale watching started in 2001. And this is when we, together with the operators, started developing a partnership model. Okay, and this involves capacity building for all the professionals involved in the activities. So at the start of the whale season, we always hold a workshop in which we talk about different aspects of whale biology, guidelines for approaching, and all kinds of things. We also do this with interns, which are students that come intern with us every whale season. We provide a pre-departure lecture for the tourists. So in Praia do Forte, we have a visitor center, and the operators bring the tourists before going out, and they can watch a 15-minute lecture. We do that in Portuguese and English every morning. When it's not possible for the operators to bring the tourists because their agency is too far, we actually go to their agency and we do the lecture there. So we want to make sure nobody misses out on that. We provide educational materials, so we have a folder, and if you want to take one home, there's some outside on the table, you can pick one. In the folder we have information about the whales, their behaviors, the work that we do on board the whale watching vessels, and obviously the rules and regulations. Now, we, through this partnership, we're able to embark in the vessels, and so we can provide interpretation during the trip for the tourists, and it's also a really nice opportunity to work with the local communities. So every time we go to different locations to work with the operators, we make sure that we can bring the local people on board as well, so they can get to know the whales. We ended up starting this activity in places where most people had never seen whales before. So we want to make sure that the local community can come and discover this new reality, which sometimes is so close to them, but they don't know. And obviously, we collect scientific data on board the tourist vessels, And through that, we've been able to develop some scientific studies. Sergio recently concluded his master thesis looking at the composition of groups, and he's been able to analyze 10 years of data. So having this partnership is really nice because we can have long-term data collection and monitoring. Okay, we do photo identification. So you probably all know that we can identify individual humpback whales through the patterns on their flukes, which have brought us a lot of information about site fidelity, population estimates, distribution, longevity, all that we can get from the photo identification. We study their behaviors and also record other cetaceans. Okay? In Brazil, whale watching is regulated by government rules. They've existed since 1996. The Humpback Whale Project collaborated with the government's bodies to develop these guidelines. Okay, so we respect distance limits, time limits, also the amount of boats that can be around the whales at the same time, and obviously we have a conduct for approaching correctly. Okay? We also monitor visitor satisfaction on board the trips. We hand out questionnaires, and about 93% of the visitors over the years say they would come back to do whale watching in Praia do Forte. Now, this model we've been slowly replicating into other locations along the coast of Bahia. So currently, there's 10 different locations carrying out whale watching in partnership with the Humpback Whale Project, from Praia do Forte all the way down to Abrolhos. In the map it's cut out, but you can see Brazil, the state of Bahia on the northeastern coast, and it's over 1,000 kilometers. So Itacaré started in 2004, Morro de São Paulo in 2007, Porto Seguro in 2010, Barra Grande 2012, Cumuruxatiba, and I'm not going to ask you to repeat that, in 2013. But obviously it's all really nice, but there's challenges for the future. We have good laws, a good partnership going, but not much enforcement at all. So it's really nice that we are working together with the partners, so we're there monitoring, making sure as much as we can that things are going well. But we need more studies on whale behavior and interaction to try and find out impacts, especially from land stations. We need studies to set up carrying capacity so that we can start up a licensing program, because currently there's no specific licenses required to operate whale watching. So I'm currently looking at that in my master's. And we want to submit soon a plan for the Brazilian government to propose planning for the activity for the future. Okay, thank you very much. And special thanks to the WCA and the Cetacean Society International.